Beautiful people, welcome into this Facebook Live. My name is Natalie. I am the holistic nutritionist here for you at Glow Nutritional Consulting. And I just want to say right off the bat, if you are watching this live, awesome. Feel free to comment, jump in, any of that good stuff. And if you happen to be watching this on the replay, I would equally love if you act as if this was live and comment. Let me know your thoughts, because as much as you engage, I am able to help you and improve your health and help you feel absolutely fantastic. So as the title of this video goes, I am going to be helping you with meal planning tonight, which was a question from a client a little while ago, and I wanted to jump into it this evening to let you know and to help you out, and then also to forward this over to her beautiful soul so that I can help her with that too. So I am just going to take a quick second here and share this, make sure that I'm showing up properly, because I've never done a video like this, oriented this way, so I want to make sure it's showing up properly on my computer for you guys. And I'm going to take a quick second to share it into my amazing, beautiful group, the Glow Doers group on Facebook, which you are welcome to join. And then from there, we will get started. So just so you know what we're in for tonight, I'm going to talk about meal replacements for busy days and why those are so important to know about. Easy, nutritious meals to avoid takeout nights, because that tends to be something I see. If you can avoid them with clients when I'm working with them, if you can avoid takeout nights through healthy kind of food that you have around, that is something stellar and super helpful to making sure that you're hitting your goals, especially if they're around weight loss or even high energy levels. We're going to talk about healthy takeout options so that if you are really strapped for time and you're going to order takeout, a few things that you can order, or a few things that I will order in those cases to at least keep your energy levels and body at the place that you would like them. And we are going to talk about what meal planning is, my style of meal planning, which tends to be pretty easy, not like spectacularly like all pre-scheduled, so that I have freedom, because that's really important to me through the week, and how you can sous chef for yourself for your best weeks ever. So what possible time can you give yourself to set up your week properly? So now that you know whether or not this video is absolutely for you, I'm just going to take this quick second, share this over into my group, make sure that we are oriented properly, even though we're on like a sideways angle that I haven't done before. If you're in here, yes, fantastic, awesome. It looks like it's actually oriented properly, which I'm really, really happy about. So I'm going to take a second to share it, and then I'm going to jump in with all of that fantastically helpful stuff. So if you ever want to join us, I do host a private group for questions and comments and answers and all that kind of stuff in the Glow Doers, so feel free to search that up, request to join, and either I will or somebody else fantastic in the group will let you into that fun stuff. I am just sharing, and then I'm going to shut my screen here on my laptop, because it is a little funny to see myself move like a second after I see it on my phone here. So let's jump in. Why is meal planning important, first of all? I love it because I generally have a pretty good idea of what to have for dinner, which takes up the whole question and answer of like, what should we have for dinner? I don't know. Or what do we have the ingredients for? All that kind of stuff. So preparedness, efficiency, feeling organized, all that good stuff. Definitely a money-saving technique if you don't have a meal plan, and worse yet, if you go to a grocery store hungry. I'm sure we've all had the experience of coming back and being like, I don't even know what the heck I purchased. I have like no meals to make, and somehow I spent all of my budget money on food. That used to happen to us all the time. So it's definitely a money-saving technique. And you just can plan out healthy meals and actually feel better. So that is awesome. I would love to know in the comments if you're a big meal planner, or if you're trying to get into it, what's your big goal around it? I would love to help you out on that. So we're going to jump in with meal replacements for busy days. So I have listed out a few meal replacements because I think they can be so helpful. So what I'm talking about here are like convenient bars or convenient powders that you can kind of throw into water and drink easily, get down to at least keep your blood sugar levels stable so that your energy levels are stable so that you continue to glow and be marvelous as yourself. So I like meal replacements, not for every crazy meal or anything like that, but I do like having meal replacements because if you can be honest with yourself for a quick second, do a little check-in and recognize that maybe some days are particularly busy for you. If you have something that you can go to quick, that you can just throw down and be like, okay, maybe not the best thing that I've ever eaten in my life, maybe not full of kale or anything else, but I got something in that actually is going to keep me feeling level and stable and able to keep up with everything, then not only do you get rid of that blood sugar crash that can be so energy depleting, but you also get to feel super stable, super energized, super good through your days. So a couple of meal replacements that I tend to recommend are the Garden of Life powder is pretty good. It's not my favorite taste-wise, but it's something that's going to kind of pull you over, so that's great. The Vega Recovery bars are something that I reach for often. That's the Blue Label one. They have a chocolate peanut butter that my husband really likes, or they have a chocolate coconut that I tend to really like. The Vega One drinks I have found pretty awesome. So those are actually the new ones. I'm not sure if they have them everywhere yet or if we were just super lucky that our health food store started carrying them, but they're these like pre-mixed drinks, which I thought were so fantastic, especially for people in the hospital or anything like that. Instead of drinking those garbage filled like Ensure type of drinks or whatever else, you're actually going to get like a dose of plant-based protein and minerals and greens and like, oh my gosh, so much better. So that's a really awesome kind of meal replacement-y type of a thing to keep you going. And the new Vega, I think they're called Protein Plus snack bars. I've just freaking fell in love with lately. So they have like a caramel chocolate one that I'm a huge sucker for, and then I think they have a peanut butter cup one that like Christopher could not be more excited for. So those would be some meal replacements for very busy days. And the last reason that I really like meal replacements is because for so many clients that I see, there's a real problem where they get starving and then they way overeat. And especially if your goal is around weight loss or even energy levels, because you can tell like Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner, if you eat those kinds of things, you eat way too much and then you feel so exhausted afterwards. So even for energy levels it works, but certainly for weight loss, if you can prevent that kind of like super low energy exhaustion depletion where you just want food and then you way overeat, then you're going to feel pretty stable and actually able to avoid those like massive surge cravings. So that's going to help you out. Now I just got a question, so I'm going to read it and then I'm going to answer it. Hi Jill Hawkins. Can you recommend any healthy meals / meal choices for people who don't like a lot of vegetables? I can. Yes. What came to my mind as soon as I read that was also, so I feel like I'm going to start here because you may find it particularly inspiring. But also, we all know, and if you don't know, let me just like say it straight out, vegetables are your freaking best friend, whether you're looking for weight loss, energy levels. They contain so many different amazing phytonutrients that help your body in a whole bunch of different ways. They are so nutrient loaded. They contain a vast array of vitamins and minerals that your body needs to be able to thrive. So my first way of going about that question is a little bit like going around the other way, but I'm going to go for it. Which is, if you don't like vegetables and you know you need to get them in, and I hope that everybody here knows already that they have to get them in, then some of the simplest ways that I have gone about that in the future, because I didn't really like love vegetables at the beginning, was throwing an F load of spinach as like a clear measurement style size. Adding like maybe like a really stuffed cup, if you're looking for an actual measurement, of spinach into my smoothies, and throwing in like if I would kind of build like 2/3 fruits and 1 part spinach into smoothies and blend it up on high for a long time, then that actually made you get in the veggies without actually having to taste them, which for me, that was absolutely fantastic. So that might help you out. Meals for people that don't like vegetables. Also, like I feel like beautiful, health-focused mother that I have seen for her kids, they get like so sneaky sometimes, and I love it for like how to kind of get vegetables in, but like food processing them or like sauteing them and then food processing them and then adding that kind of like gloopy stuff into like pasta sauce or things like that, just so that you don't get the texture of them, but you're still getting the benefit of them. Things like that would be super, super awesome. And then also expanding and really knowing that you don't have to eat vegetables you hate. And the caveat with that is that you can't hate all vegetables. Unfortunately, you're gonna eventually have to like start changing your taste buds so that you can really enjoy them. But to like, I've had clients before who've said like, I hate tomatoes, but I know they're really good for me, so I'll like try and like force eat them. And I'm like, cut it out, man. Like, you get to enjoy your actual food. So if you love cucumbers and you hate tomatoes, just go nuts on cucumbers. Or if you love like spinach, I would like be enamored if I like actually loved the taste of spinach. If you love that, then just like focus the heck over there. Or if you love sweet potatoes, go for them. Or if you love like red onions and you hate white onions, then stop forcing yourself to cook with white onions or whatever it might be. So I hope that gives you some clarity and a couple of really good ideas. And then also keep fruits around. So that would be something that I would recommend. So that even if you're not getting in tons of veggies, then you'll still be getting in fruits. But just know that vegetables are still super important. They should still be the base of your diet. And fruits, unfortunately, can't like totally make up for all of that. So I'm just gonna scroll back up and read the comments and hopefully make sure that I answer everything. If you guys otherwise have questions, make sure to throw them in. I would love to help you guys out. Okay, and thank you for the likes and the hearts. Those are so beautiful. I'm not sure if you guys get to see them too, but they like slide across my screen and they're very pretty. Okay, I know, but they really don't taste good to me. I wish I loved them. My life would be so much easier. I totally agree. And what I will send back to you is that that's a really good challenge to actually start putting into place. It's like, not like, oh my gosh, I hate vegetables. Oh my gosh, I hate vegetables. Oh my gosh, I hate vegetables in your mind. But how can I actually start enjoying vegetables? And just trying new recipes. If you see something that jumps out at you, like in a Facebook ad or in a blog post or in a Facebook, like wherever, or on Instagram or something that's veggie rich, like try it out, because you'll eventually find flavors. You may find things, first of all, that you hate, and then you'll be like, I'm never doing that again. But you may also find ways that you really like. So, for example, like I am not a huge fan of Brussels sprouts on their own, but I have this like coconut bacon, Dijon, maple, olive oil, kind of like drizzled way to make Brussels sprouts that I like freaking could eat the whole bowl, and often do like at Christmas dinners or anything. For carrots, I don't love them on their own, but sometimes glazed in like, there's this like dark, rich vegetable better than bouillon, and like white wine and thyme and rosemary, and like all mixed into a casserole dish and like heated in the oven. That's a really nice way to get them in. Or like parboiled them and then grilling them in the oven with like olive oil and apple cider vinegar and maple syrup. Like, so there's lots of creative ways that you can get into using them. Also, like on a salad, oh my gosh, it's like 100% about the dressing. So making sure that you're getting in like some dressing that you love, whether it's like a homemade, I've got like a cashew Caesar dressing, that's one of my go-tos, or an Italian like mock-up dressing, that's one of my favorites. But if a salad doesn't have a good dressing, forget it. But if it has a really fantastic dressing, I'm like, I don't even care how many vegetables there are, I'm gonna eat this and I like it. So I hope that helps you out, Jill. If anybody else has questions, feel free to ask. Easy, nutritious meals to avoid takeout nights. This is something that I think is so important that you in a really realistic way start including in your meal planning for the week. So if you're looking ahead and you're like, okay, you know what, Tuesday night's gonna be slammed or super busy, or this whole week is like a disaster of stress, then making sure that you have really fast meals to avoid takeout nights is really important. So whether those are meal replacements or a blend of like a meal replacement or a smoothie bar or something, let's say like something that's super easy to make. So in the past, and I just saw a comment, I'm going to pause, and then at the end of every section I'm going to come back and answer questions, just so that we stay on focus here. So easy, nutritious meals to avoid takeout nights. So one of the things that I have lived off of, and if we get super busy here, then I find it a really good go-to, is the Dea Alfredo style mac and cheese. It's gluten-free, it's vegan, it's not the most nutritious thing in the world, but it's gonna totally help you stay balanced and get you through. So that's something that's super, super fast that I really like. What else? There's kale and garlic and onion pasta that I learned from Alice, who is on this page and helps me sometimes. It's boil pasta, saute kale that's all chopped up, and garlics and onions into a big cast iron pan with some olive oil, salt, and pepper, and then throw that on the pasta at the end is a really kind of simple thing that you can go to. One of the things that we've been making this week for really fast meals was this mushroom based pasta that's basically you grill up tons of mushrooms, throw in truffle oil at the end, which I'm insanely in love with, and throw it on pasta in a cashew cream sauce. So those are a couple of pretty quick, and cream sauce as far as cashews is you throw in I think it's a 1-to-3 ratio, so a third of a cup of cashews into a cup of water, and then you blend it on high until it's a cream and throw it in just like you would a cream. That's the most basic one. There is a more delicious vegan version of a cream sauce, but it's a couple more steps, so on fast nights I probably just go for that one. Those are a couple of nutritious meals. But what I would really challenge you to do, because those may be, first of all, flavors that I love and you don't, those could also be foods that you're not comfortable or really know how to use very quickly. So the thing that I would really recommend is whatever your super fast go-to meals are, just start to try and make them a little healthier. And if at first that means adding diced up kale to them, or steamed spinach to them, or broccoli or something, just start the journey of adding something that's healthier to them, and eventually over time you will find your way into beautiful, fantastic feeling health that you can keep up with because you have found ways to make it easy. So that would be my best recommendation for easy, nutritious meals to avoid takeout nights. Now, if you are super busy and takeout is your only option, I remember this being huge when we were wedding planning and we were just to and from the venue all the time, to and from different vendors all the time, so many different meetings in different places. The healthiest takeout options that we found was Subway sandwiches, their veggie sub on the white bread, because the 9-grain wheat has honey in it, which I don't personally eat. So that was an option that would at least keep us going, and I love lettuce, cucumbers, tomatoes, what else do I throw on it? Red onions, tons of olives, the black olives, pickles, and the hot peppers, and then salt and pepper and sub sauce, which I know is just a Canadian thing, and I don't understand how anybody else in the world doesn't have sub sauce, because every other country I've been to, if I've ordered a sub, I've been shocked, and I don't know how you guys live without sub sauce. So whatever kind of dressing that you like, it's kind of like Italian dressing, but it's very oregano-y and tangy, and it's amazing on sub. So I hope that helps you out even if you're not from Canada. Mucho Burrito has these big burrito bowls that are, you can do the veggie ones, which come with guacamole, which is amazing, and just any vegetable you like on there. There's usually the peppers and onions and there's some kind of bean and usually rice, and then a whole bunch of the different salsas that look good, guacamole. Oh my gosh, it ends up being super filling and really kind of one of the healthiest options out there for on-the-go stuff. So that's a really awesome one. And then extreme pita is somewhere that we've loved lately. Between trips from Toronto to Ottawa, there's an extreme pita on the way, and they have like a quinoa tabbouleh and so many different veggies and sriracha sauce and a light balsamic that you can throw on, and all these different kind of veggies. Throw them into a whole wheat wrap and you're pretty much good to go. So that one's also a super filling one there as well, with hummus and falafels. So that is the one that I quite like at Extreme Pita. So those are a couple of options for healthy takeout options to keep you at least on your goals, or at least not take you away from your goals if you are gonna go kind of fast food. That's not to say that all the time, like, there is magic in sometimes giving in and having like the most spectacularly rich, like soul happy-fying meal, and I totally get that. So I'm not trying to take you away from that, but I am trying to say if you have goals around energy levels, around feeling really vibrant, feeling good, if you have goals of weight loss, any of that kind of stuff, then chances are most of your meals are gonna have to change over to healthy. And it doesn't mean you can't thoroughly enjoy the other ones, but it does mean that you gotta start training your taste buds into enjoying some of the healthy ones and finding ways, again, like I said to Jill earlier, finding ways of actually enjoying different healthy things like veggies. So Jill said, thanks, have to run, but we'll watch the rest later. Oh, awesome. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy it later, or now as you're watching this in the future. So the next thing that I was going to talk about, I feel like we're at maybe number 4 right now, if we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, would be what is meal planning and what's my style of meal planning so that it can help you. So meal planning is basically figuring out ahead of time when you're going grocery shopping for the week what meals you're going to make, so that you are very clear, so that you have some kind of organization, so that you know what to shop for and all the rest. What is my style of meal planning? This is to make, on kind of Saturday, we tend to go grocery shopping, sometimes Sundays. I will pick out 3 meals, or we will pick out 3 meals together of foods that I would really like to eat, or that we were both really craving. So whether that's like, sometimes Christopher's go-to will be like hamburgers, which are they're like these veggie burgers that we both adore, or whether it's paella that week, or whether it's some big kind of loaded salad for dinner, or whether it's like one of those kind of like super healthy bowls with the rice or the quinoa base, or some kind of pasta, or we tend to flow for the Mediterranean kind of style diet, I think. So like lots of tomatoes especially, and lots of fresh herbs and that kind of stuff. So that tends to be where our favorites are. But we'll pick 3, and what I find really nice about 3 is that there's enough variety so that like you're not eating the exact same thing like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But what I will say is like the biggest freaking, like, this tip alone will save you in terms of meal planning and that kind of stuff, is never go into the kitchen and just cook one meal. This alone can like change your relationship with meal planning and everything else, but never go into the kitchen and just cook one meal. So if you're gonna make something like, let's say, a pasta sauce with some kind of a pasta for the week, then make like a triple batch of the sauce and either freeze the leftovers or keep the leftovers in the fridge so that you've got a quick lunch the rest of the week, or a quick dinner on Thursday night if you're cooking it on Monday, or whatever it is. So that is a really helpful tip for kind of meal planning goddessery, would be to make sure that you are always cooking extra and then either freezing those and pulling them back out for fast nights, or throwing them in the fridge for leftovers. So we choose three meals, make them, whenever we do make them, we'll make extras, or we'll prep extra raw veggies if there's raw veggies in it, or we'll, like if we're cutting up a red pepper at one point in the week, we'll just cut up the whole thing and store the rest in the fridge that's already cut up. Things like that can really add up and make a huge difference in how you're meal planning, all of that kind of stuff. I just want to check what time it is. Yes, okay, awesome. So I have a few more minutes. If you guys have questions, feel free to put them in, because most of all, I want to make sure that I'm covering your guys' actual questions around meal planning. And I think this is my very last tip. So if you have questions, again, now is the time, throw them in the comments. I would love to hear from you and make sure that I can help you out in the last kind of 5 minutes of this Facebook Live. So how can you sous chef for your best weeks ever? So this is something that we really love doing. It's not something that we do every single week. If our weekends are slammed or like back-to-back busy, then we tend to not realistically get to it. But some of the tips from before will still be helpful during those weeks. What I love and like adore doing is on Sundays, giving myself some time to actually meal prep, and usually we'll have like a glass of wine and some nice music on, and it just kind of sets the tone for the week, where we'll like wash a whole thing of lettuce so that it's all washed in the fridge and in a bag, so that we've got quick salad base for the week. Or we'll actually make like one big meal of something, so like spaghetti sauce for like 10 people, and then we've got like a really fast thing to throw together. And really, like with this tip, make sure that you know what you will and will not eat. There are some things where like if they've been in the fridge for too long, or not even too long, but if they've just been in the fridge, I don't like the texture of them the next day, or I don't like that kind of stuff. So pasta is something that I'll cook the next day because it's pretty quick to cook, but the sauce is something that I can easily throw in the fridge and then reheat, and then that's ready to go onto the pasta at any time in that example. So I hope that that helps you out. I'm going to go back over really quickly what we talked about tonight, and then I think I'll be signing off for the night unless you guys have questions. So the first thing we talked about was meal replacements and getting realistic with the fact that probably you're going to be busy at least some nights during each week. And that means that you've got to figure out how to, especially if you have big health goals right now, you've got to figure out how to make this work for you. And sometimes that might look like throwing down a protein powder, throwing down some kind of a bar, and continuing to go. I think if you can be realistic about that, you can actually see it coming as a roadblock or an obstacle in reaching your goals, and then you can actually overcome it and have actually already planned for it. And I think when you can plan for your roadblocks or upcoming obstacles, there's like nothing that can possibly stop you. So meal replacements we spoke about. I mentioned Garden of Life, Vega Recovery, Vega One drinks, or the Vega new Protein Plus bars as being like pretty awesome things that you can go to, that you can store in your purse or in your desk at work or whatever. And if you're flying between meetings, or you're racing to get home and then to hockey practice or whatever it may be, you've got something with you that will at least keep your blood sugar levels and your energy levels stable. So that was part one for meal planning. Expect that some days are going to be busy, and start actually planning around that and actually acknowledging that instead of letting it hit you by surprise. Number two that we covered in this video was easy, nutritious meals to avoid takeout nights. This is similar, but they're actually really fast meals that you know how to make, that you can just go to, that you plan to have. One of the meals I mentioned was the Alfredo style Daya mac and cheese. I don't like all of theirs. They have like an orange cheddar that I don't like, and I think they have a white cheddar that I don't like. But the Alfredo style is something like awesome. You can throw it together. You can also keep a ton of boxes in your pantry. I really like that. I find it super easy. It's like ready in under 10 minutes. Total pass, will keep us from getting takeout. Super solid, tastes good. Not the healthiest thing that you'll ever eat. Sometimes we'll throw kale into it that's like diced up and then steamed. And sometimes we won't, and we'll just go with the Alfredo, and that's that. So those are the kinds of meals that will actually help you avoid your takeout nights. And it tends to be that the most unhealthy food that you'll eat will be from takeout. So that is a point. We also spoke about healthy takeout options to keep you on your goals. We talked about what you can order at Mucho Burrito. We talked about what you can order at Subway, especially in Canada. So I'm sorry for anybody else who doesn't have sub sauce. That stuff is like my love. Oh my gosh. Okay, and what you can order at Extreme Pita also. Those are like three pretty readily available things here. When we've been doing road trips, we've definitely checked out, or actually travel in general, anywhere we've been, we've checked out the Happy Cow website, and they've been awesome for having like awesome vegan restaurants in like no matter what the heck tiny little town in like Europe or somewhere in the States. Anywhere we've ended up, they've had like something that we could go to and get like a solid, wholesome, plant-based meal that kept our energy levels up, kept us feeling fantastic. So that would be a good resource for you guys to check out. So that if you're kind of around or road tripping or any of that kind of stuff, you've still got awesome food. And it's sometimes helpful even in your own city to look up those kind of restaurants so that you know if you are going to order takeout where you can actually get it from that is going to support your body instead of kind of draining energy out from you. The next point we spoke about this evening was what is meal planning, what my take on it is, and how we set it up, which is by choosing 3 meals, always making double or triple. We don't try too many new recipes in a week. So for example, if there's a recipe that really inspired me out of one of my favorite cookbooks, I'll aim to do that one as like a fancier when I have time meal that week. But otherwise I keep it pretty simple and on recipes that I already know or like have made up myself based on tastes that I really like. So that is something that is very, very helpful. Don't try and like have every meal be like a super fancy, beautiful. Even if you love cooking, chances are you're going to be busy at least one night of the week. I would assume. Maybe you're not. Maybe that's not true at all. But if it is, then actually be ready and prepared for that. And then know that Sundays or whatever your equivalent of Sundays is, if you work different days or whatever, can you do anything to set yourself up for the week? So can you wash lettuce that'll make it easier to make salads through the week? Can you prep up any raw veggies that are going to be thrown into or sauteed or whatever through the week? Can you make one big meal so that you actually have something you can fall back on if Monday's a total crazy day and you come back with kind of like no energy to put stuff together? All of those kind of things can help you prevent caving for food that's not going to help your body. So those were my biggest tips for you guys. I hope you loved them. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you so much, Jill, for asking questions. Thank you, you guys. I saw the numbers go up and down for people joining and leaving this conversation. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your energy this evening. And I hope you guys have the healthiest freaking year. 2018 is going to be so awesome, and I'm so excited. I hope it's your personal best. If you need any help, do let me know. I'm always here, so feel free to send me a PM to this page or in the comments. Hi, Jerry! This is so funny. Yeah, I think that's all. So thank you guys so much. I hope that helped you out. You guys are all fantastic, and I believe in your easiest and best health ever, especially this year. Bye, guys!